All right, next will be our superintendent's report. Dr. Cherniss, please.
All right. I was distracted by that sign in the back there. That's a nice one. Thank you. So tonight I'm going to talk a lot about some exciting new programs we have, and specifically I'm going to talk about the Universal Sports Institute. Couldn't be more excited for it. I'm going to give an update on where we are with this program. Hear me? Okay. Yeah, I think it's on now. Yeah, maybe turn it up a little bit. And I'm going to also address some misinformation out there because this is my opportunity to do so. So what is this program? Well, first of all, we have an incredible advisory board. We have all 4 of our comprehensive high school athletic directors on our advisory board. We also have principals on our advisory board. We have coaches on our advisory board. And this is all on our website. And so we are relying on some of the best and brightest to give us the best information. This program, a lot like our Orange County School of Computer Science, is why I'm convinced people are coming back to our district. And I know every meeting I talk about enrollment, but that is critically important. To date, we are now 500 more students over where we were last year at this time. And that, yes, you're allowed to clap for that. Everybody can clap for it. Yes. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, too. It's okay to clap for things that are good for kids. We have started to put pieces together for the Universal Sports Institute. One of the most important pieces we put together, I think, personally, is the integration of this new pathway to support our students with disabilities. And so we're working with a company that has already worked with quite a few of our students. It's called BC Adaptive Fitness, and we hope to bring them to our board for a contract in the near future to offer fitness-type programs for our students in our district with special needs. Kids will be coming over, our life skill kids from our comprehensive high schools will be coming over for classes. Physical fitness for many, many students with disabilities is critically important. They have a higher percentage of obesity, diabetes, and so what we need to do while we have them is develop lifelong exercise skills for them. And so I couldn't be more excited about this program. So just some brief updates, and we'll keep bringing these updates to the board and to the community. We started April 1st. We already have 60 applicants, and I will tell you, these kids are incredible. We have about 20% of our kids are in district. Out of district. About 80% are in district. These kids, we have aspiring Olympic ice skaters. We have great kids that play baseball and soccer and basketball, dance. And so what we're doing is we're starting to meet with a lot of different coaches and bringing them on board so these kids can get the specialization that they want while enrolled in Parkview. And so we've changed our focus a little bit. And so we are flexible. We've shifted from an elite to more dedicated, purposeful, committed kid. And so elite has this connotation that we only want Olympians, and that's truly not it. We're going to serve kids in this program from 8 to 3, but we're also going to serve our students in our comprehensive high schools after that. And so we're already talking about ways to do that. Classes, fitness-type classes. Kids can sign up. Middle school kids can go on Tuesday and Thursday after school and sign up for a agility class. And we can take the first 50 kids that sign up, and they're in this class for a period or a term. And again, this is a free program. We are going to fund this from the enrollment that we have, and that's our intention, is for this to be a cost-neutral program. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit because that's come up in budget and transparency. So I'm going to talk about that. But We're going to staff it with coaches, certificated sections. We have some teachers that were overstaffed in PE, for example, but they have a weightlifting certification. They'll come over during the day and do weightlifting. We have a basketball coach. That's our assistant coach at El Dorado. He's been with us 10 years. He's a walk-on coach. He doesn't work during the day. And so he's going to come over and work with the kids and then walk over to the field, Tommy Lasorda Fieldhouse, get some basketball instruction. There's an entire park with an empty baseball field during the day. We're going to have kids playing baseball, go over to the park, and they get to use that, and we're going to have batting cages and whatnot. So a lot of aspirations. We have some really talented people putting this forward. If you haven't heard, Fullerton District has now opened theirs, and they're competing with us. You're going to see more and more. There was more before. There's going to be more after. But we're on the cutting edge, and just seeing the kids coming from Orange, from Rancho Santiago. We had a kid apply from Missouri. It's a really cool thing, and it's the specialization that makes us. It's going to make us different and exemplary. Now, I do want to speak to the issue of, and I learned this from a colleague of mine. She sent me this concept called reactive devaluation, and it's a cognitive bias that occurs when an individual assigns less value or credibility to a proposal simply because it comes from an opposing party. The bias can compromise decision making, and it hurts our kids. I added that to the definition because it does. These kind of programs, if it's good for kids, you're all allowed to clap for it. It doesn't have to be a bipolar, political, divisive thing. This is a great program for kids. We have kids that can't afford going to a trainer. They're going to be able to come see a certified trainer and get support. We have kids that can't access some of the high-level equipment that we're going to purchase using a very specialized funding, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So I want to talk about transparency. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to talk about how we communicate, how we've been communicating this program, and how the district in the past has communicated new programs. I'm going to talk about the budget because I hear that a lot. Do we have money for it? How should we evaluate this? That's important. And I'm going to talk about those funding sources. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for the support. There's been so many people reaching out. Hey, Dr. Cherniss, thank you so much. We're so excited. Ignore those people that are, making videos about you or online saying stuff about you. And the reality is it doesn't bother me, but I can't ignore it. I have to speak to the facts and the truth. And this is my opportunity to do it. So when I'm challenged, when either my integrity is challenged up here by people casting aspersions or saying that we're not being transparent, this is my opportunity to address that. So then maybe someday my kids are watching and they can see the truth. So let's talk about budget transparency. Does the board know what funds the district has? Simple question. I was the CFO of the county office, largest county office in the nation. My budget was $14.5 billion. I oversaw the budgets of 80 school districts. My question when I went out to districts was always, does the board know what funds you have? It's a simple question. But what's been happening here in the past, it hasn't been a simple answer. It's been hidden. And does the community know what funds the district has? So I know talk is cheap, so I want to go over a few things. So you can access all the district budgets on our website. You can see a PDF of all the financial reports and see these little snapshots at the top. Those are all budget presentations. And before I got here, they were all labeled all funds budget presentations. All funds. The district has many different funding sources. One is the general fund. That's called Fund 1. That's what we pay teachers for. 80% of what a district pays out is salaries and benefits, people and benefits. That's Fund 1. There are several other funds. that every district until I got here presents to their school board and reviews in presentation so that the community can see it and so the board can see it. That was not happening here. None of these, quote, all funds budget presentations included all funds. When I got here with Mr. Stein, we presented the first all funds budget presentation to the board and the community in at least the last 5 years. This one slide represents over $40 million of funds that was never presented to this community in any, quote, all funds budget presentation. So developer fees, that's part of Fund 25. Cafeteria fund, $13 million of ending fund balance. Child development fund, $11 million. Self-insurance, $16 million. None of these were presented to the community or the board until I got here. So to say we're not being transparent with our budgets, this is proof we're being more transparent than we ever have been. So let's talk about communication. Communication with USI. How have we communicated USI? Well, we've done it at board meetings. We've sent out Monday messages. We've done principal announcements and emails. We've sent texts to 40,000 families. We've sent emails. We're on the radio. We're on billboards. And we have paper handouts. The amount of communication we're doing about this program is more transparent than any new program that's ever been developed here. And I stand by that. And I want to give you an example of the last time this district approved a new school. August 11, 2020, the Buena Vista Virtual Academy. This is a case study in what not to do. In my 25 years in education, public education, the Buena Vista Virtual Academy is a school. We have about 150 students. They're located at the location of USI. In my 25 years in public education, I have never seen a new school approved by a school board on consent until I got here. This virtual school, we didn't have a study session. I've heard from Marilyn Anderson. I want to have a study session on the budget for USI. Okay. Where was the study session for BVVA? No study session, no budget presentation, no RFP. So I found this because another thing since we got here, it's very easy to access the documents on our board agenda. If you go back to archives 2023 and prior, it's like playing Sudoku. Yeah, I mean, you cannot find anything. It's all PDFs, 600-page PDFs with no attachments to link to. So I found this document. This is Superintendent, I don't know him, Gary Plutko, or Greg Plutko? Plutko. Okay, Greg Plutko. So on August 11, 2020, Buena Vista Virtual Academy was established by this school board, a new school, mind you, a new program, expanding, changing the name, of course, from the La Entrada. I have my notes in like the bottom of my PowerPoint. Is there a way to access that? Okay. I'm going to need my notes in a minute. So this program and this is the best part, funding for the new school, no cost to the district. Was there a study session when Buena Vista Virtual Academy was established? Nope. Was there a budget presented? Nope. There's 150 kids in this program. Give me one moment. So we have 150 kids in the program, no budget, no study session. And I have heard from the board here, I've heard from Marilyn Anderson, I'm not going to approve $1 for USI until I see a budget. Where was the budget when this came on board? Are we losing money with Buena Vista Virtual Academy? That's the other thing I've heard. I've heard from a lot of people, well, we don't want to lose money. We don't want to lose money. We want to see a budget, so we don't want to lose money. Uh-oh, Buena Vista Virtual Academy, we're losing $1.1 million a year on this program. So let me rewind. We approve a new school. We the board, approves a new school on consent with no budget, no study session. The staff states that there's no cost to the district, which is absolutely absurd. And we as a district are losing $1.1 million a year on this program. The same program that I am proposing, we repurpose this facility for something that actually is exciting, can potentially make money, bring kids into the school district. So I'm going back to this reactive devaluation, because I am convinced that if this program was presented 2 years ago and it was Plutko or Matthews or El Sasser, it could have gone on consent. But it's not. So here we are today. We have a program where we're losing $1.1 million. These are the facts. Now, given that, am I saying we should close this school? Absolutely not. Why? Because I don't think we're in the business of making money. And the fact that we spend an extra $1.1 million and take a loss on this program doesn't mean it's a bad thing. We need to invest in kids, and kids have different needs. Some of our kids like virtual education. Does it cost more? Yes. But that's okay. I'm not saying we close it. I'm saying, why aren't we looking at it? And why 3 years ago did we approve a specialized school? And today, all of a sudden, people are saying, hey, we got to see the budget for this. I find that ironic. Here's some other specialized programs we have. El Camino. Very important program. Specialized for kids. We lose $2.2 million a year on El Camino. Are we saying we should close it? No. But I'm here saying this is information we should have. This is information the board has never looked at before. And before we say, hey, we don't want to start USI unless it's a positive, profitable endeavor, then why are we operating programs like this that aren't positive, profitable endeavors? And I hope USI will be. But I think it's a great example here. So let's talk about developer fees. That's our funding source, developer fees. Remember that budget I showed you that the board, the community was never shown before? We get developer fees. We have a legal opinion on developer fees that this whole board got, saying that USI is an exciting opportunity for the district to provide its athletes with the most cutting-edge technologies. The district may use its impact fees, which are developer fees, to construct the training facility. The board has this, but I've heard people in the community say, oh, well, you can't use developer fees. This attorney is the foremost expert on developer fees in the state of California. And this whole board, a month ago or so, got this letter saying it's legal, it's permitted, and it's actually the appropriate expense for it. Here's our developer fee revenues. We got it. Revenues for developer fees. Let me talk about how do you get developer fees. When families do development, you write a check, it goes to the city. A portion of it's called a developer fee, it goes to the school district. When big developments go up, apartments go up, that money goes to the school district in the form of a developer fee. We collect them. It's ongoing revenue. So the fact that we're using developer fees, first of all, is appropriate. We've already been shown that. But we're also, this is a revenue stream we're going to get every year. This is not new one-time money. This is ongoing money. Now, the degree to which we get depends on the amount of development in the community. This is something the board should have been aware of. I found it offensive when Marilyn Anderson passed out a packet to educate us on developer fees, when she's been spending developer fees on the board and approving it. In fact, in 2021, when she was on the school board, she spent $1.266 million in developer fees on a specialized program at Glenview. Unfortunately, I doubt Ms. Anderson knew that, nor did the board, because the district never disclosed it. What you have here are purchase orders for technology equipment, for portables, using developer fees for Glenview's Dual Language Academy. Now, what happened in the past is the business office said, and by the way, this entire cabinet here is new, so I'm not casting any aspersions on any of you. We're cleaning things up, but what happened in the past is the business office would just say, let's use developer fees for it. It goes on under developer fees. This district spent $1.26 on developer fees on Glenview. There was never a study session on developer fees that was requested this year for USI. It was just expensed. So rather than just charging USI to developer fees, we've disclosed. Here's what they are. Here's how much we have. Here's our revenue stream. And here's the acceptable use, and here's the legal opinion to be able to purchase them. That's transparency. What you see here, and I know you can barely see it, that's not transparent. School districts should not, and if I was the CFO at the county, I would say, whoa. School districts should not be spending $1.26 million on developer fees without being very clear to the school board and the community, that's what we're spending money on. I found $43,000 for developer fees for an architect. That's all I found, 2021. The rest of the $1.26 million spent, it would be on an attachment under purchase orders with a 20 number line stream, and you'd have to be able to figure out that that whole stream is applied to developer fees. So you've been spending developer fees, and you didn't even know it. So to summarize, we're taking a facility which has been running a program at a loss, and we're reinvigorating it with innovation and excitement. Those who support this program, those who support our computer science school, those who support individualized specialization for kids, that's your legacy. Those who engage in misinformation, those who oppose our innovative programs, that's equally yours. Now on a positive note, if that wasn't positive, I kind of thought it was positive. It's Mother's Day this weekend. Let's give a hand for all of our mothers out there. Okay, and this is why I have to read this. In 1967, then 23-year-old Diane Roseman, soon to be Diane Cherniss, along with her black roommate, Angela Pickett, dressed up in their Sunday best, as everyone did, and attended the Second Baptist Church located in Watts. Now, just a few years prior, in 1965, the Watts riots had occurred. Now, to me, and I know my mom would probably disagree, but to me, that's courageous for a 22-year-old kid, a white UCLA grad, young Jewish girl, to go with her black friend to Watts to a church. The speaker that day was Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King spoke at the Second Baptist Church on several occasions. The Second Baptist Church was established in 1885. It was the first black church in Los Angeles County. So my mom heard the gospel, the choir sing. She listened to Dr. King talk about nonviolence, justice for all, and a future for black Americans. So, Mom, I know you often tell me you're proud of me, and I've never told you I'm proud of you, but your attendance at this church in Watts was an impactful way of you speaking out against injustice. It taught me a lot. It was courageous in the face of adversity, so I am proud of you. Happy Mother's Day. And that's my report.